You're lighting your money on fire if you're optimizing for views. Because views don't equal customers. And as somebody who's generated over 42 million views collectively on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn in the last 12 months alone, I can tell you that this is true. And the crazy part is I've helped business owners generate hundreds of millions of views and millions of followers online, working on pretty much every vertical that you can think of. Optimizing for every platform through various types of media, whether written, video, long form, short form, you name it, I've done it. And it honestly all boils down to this one thing. See, most of us business owners think that all visibility is good. So that means that when I go online on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, views are the thing that I should be optimizing for. Like, what if I offered you a crazy deal today? For $100, I could set up a billboard that could guarantee you to get 100 million views on it. Now, most sane people would ask, like, where is it going to be placed? What's the foot traffic? What type of people go through this place or whatever? But let's say you didn't ask that. You paid me the $100 and I placed these billboards in let's say like the most crowded cities in India, in Russia, and Canada. But you're a small private dental practice in the middle of Sarasota, Florida. Getting all of those views is cool, but it never translates to actual connectivity and, more importantly, customers. But that's the crazy thing, is that the wider you go, the more views you get. And so yes, you're getting the views, but you're only thinking of the views. You're thinking about how many total people, the total population, will see your content. But the bigger and more expansive it gets, the more general the audience, therefore the least likely they are to actually be someone that could use your product, service, or solution. So it's something that I stumbled upon, and really it's something that all social media platforms are currently optimizing for, because at the end of the day, they're optimizing for ad revenue dollars. So what you need to optimize for is custom connection at scale, because all that marketing is taking a one-to-one conversation and making it one-to-many. But social media is trying to make that one-to-many back to one-to-one. So it's basically like me sitting here in a panel of however many people there are here and saying, hey, Johnny, what's your problem today? What are you looking for? Hey, Sally. Hey, Amanda, and going one by one by one by one and speaking to them. Now, obviously, it's not the most efficient way of talking to potential people who could be my client base, but it creates this custom connection that social media is trying to get at. If you've ever had a conversation with ChatGPT, you know that it basically has this custom connection component, because the more information that you feed it, the more you talk to it, the more it knows what type of tone it should use with you. You prompt it, it gives you certain feedback. You could talk to it about anything. It's manufactured artificial custom connection at scale. That's what these LLMs are doing really, really well. So with social media, they're trying to basically replicate that. Instead of trying to go wide, what you need to do is try to go narrow with your content to create connection. And so instead of getting 100,000 view video where you're basically going into them all and saying like, hey, you, right? What you need to do is actually say, hey, Johnny, hey, Sally in the blue shirt, hey, Amanda in the green shorts. What that's going to do is it's going to allow that person to turn around. Now, how do you do custom connection at scale? Well, there's two ways of doing it. Number one is not optimizing for views. Even though from a brand awareness standpoint, you can get pretty general. You can say, as a parent of young children, I really want to watch what they eat and whatever, right? That's pretty general, but at the same time, it's not. So I am talking from my experience to specific subset of the population. Number one, parents. Number two, parents who are interested in the nutrition and well-being of their kids. Number three, parents who are interested in nutrition at all, right? And what ends up happening is that the algorithms are getting so good at serving one specific type of content, so that video to that specific subset of the population, that you're going to get that specific avatar. It's not going to be general enough, meaning that you're not going to get hundreds of thousands of views anymore per video. You're not going to get millions of views per video, and you don't want that. I became an influencer 3 years ago when I had a company approach me about creating content for them. I was in a very niche market. I was basically teaching independent artists how to market their music and build their brand online. And this was a niche solution. And so it made sense. I had already cultivated an audience of 3,000 people, and they could just tap into that. And their ROI was much greater than if they paid an influencer who had hundreds of thousands of followers or millions of followers and got millions of views, because it wasn't targeted enough. What you want are targeted views, custom connection at scale. I remember when I landed a $200,000 contract online because of my personal brand and the way that I use social media. And reverse engineering that, it wasn't because of a post that went viral, right? It wasn't because I was getting millions of views back then. This was on LinkedIn. It was because I saw a post from one particular person that happened to be my avatar. I commented on it. I started a conversation. We got on a phone call. Boom. Done deal, $200,000 in 1 year. That was incredible, right? This is custom connection at scale. And at the time, I wasn't served his content regularly. That just happened to be something that pertained to me. I reached out, we chatted, and I ended up closing that deal. I'm not a great salesperson, by the way, but here's the kicker. When you do custom content at scale, so I had sent a couple looms out to a few prospects. I ended up landing one deal through that, right? It was custom messaging. It allowed me to decrease my cost per qualified connection. I didn't spend any ad dollars. It didn't take me a whole lot to create that 5-minute video or whatever it was. And it was very custom tailored. So it allowed me to have quality connections with people that were my actual avatar, my actual ICP. Even if they weren't ready to buy yet, it was an opportunity for me to connect with them, to eventually have them in my pipeline to drive a deal 6, 12, 18 months whenever they're ready to buy. And so the only metric that I actually care for are not views, and it's not even conversions because that's bottom of the funnel. It's cost per qualified connection. Is that person commenting on that video? Is that person sharing that video with a friend? Is that person getting in my messages or responding back to something that I posted? Is it creating some sort of emotional connection? Because if it's a view, it's very impersonal and it's very generalized. But when you're able to track cost per qualified connection, at that point in time, you get into the range that you should be at, which is a spectrum of it's not too general, where the general population, the general populace who will never be interested in my product will watch the video for 2 seconds, so it considers it a view. It's not that. But it's also not bottom of the funnel where the 3% of people who are ready to buy book a qualified call. It's a cost per qualified connection. And that's the stuff that matters the most when it comes to your social media. So instead of optimizing for views, instead of optimizing for virality, think of, I would much rather have 100 or 1,000 views on a video that allows me to make connection with the right people that will buy my product or service 6, 12, 18 months down the road, or even in 3 weeks, if for all it's worth, then having a bunch of strangers who are not my ICP, who are just driving by this billboard, who will never buy from me, who will never get any of my solutions or services, just so I can brag about the fact that I got 42 million views in 1 year.